Hello everyone, my name is Arya Mittal and in this video we will be dealing with right to privacy in India. We will be mainly discussing about the origin of the right, its evolution in India and some of the current legal issues pertaining to it. So let's move on. So basically, the right to privacy originated in the United States of America. In 1965, in the landmark case of Griswold versus Connecticut, the Supreme Court held that a state's ban on the use of contraceptives violated the right to marital privacy, and hence it established right to privacy as a constitutional right. Further, it cited the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment of the US Constitution, which stated that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. And thus, by a majority of 7:2, the right to privacy came into existence. Before discussing about the origin of right to privacy in India, let us first discuss what does right to privacy actually mean under the Indian Constitution. So basically, right to privacy is a fundamental right which ensures all the citizens to be protected from public scrutiny and review under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. The Article 21 of Indian Constitution deals with right to life and personal liberty. This was given by the Supreme Court in 2017 in the landmark case of Justice K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India. We will be dealing with this case in the further slides. The question of right to privacy first arose in 1954 in the famous case of MP Sharma versus Satish Chandra. Herein, a corporate group was being investigated and their documents were being searched and seized. So the group filed a writ petition before the Supreme Court claiming that it should be protected against self-incrimination and that their fundamental rights were being affected. So the 8-judge bench held that the makers of constitution did not intend to incorporate right to privacy as a fundamental right in the Indian constitution and that it differed from the 4th amendment of the US constitution which talked about prohibition of the power to search and seizure. The right to privacy was again questioned in 1962 in the case of Khadak Singh versus State of Uttar Pradesh. Herein, the petitioner was an accused but was released due to lack of evidence. Subsequently, he was kept under the surveillance of Uttar Pradesh police. He filed a case against them stating that his fundamental rights were being affected under Article 19(1)(d) of the Indian Constitution, which talks about right of freedom of movement, and under Article 21, which talks about right to life and personal liberty. The 6-judge bench held that visits at night were unconstitutional as they were violative of personal liberty, but right to privacy was not a guaranteed right under the Constitution. The silver lining of this case was the dissenting opinion of Justice Subba Rao, who stated that right to privacy was an essential ingredient of personal liberty. In 1975, a 3-judge bench was set up in the case of Govind versus State of Madhya Pradesh. Herein, the petitioner challenged the validity of the Madhya Pradesh police regulations relating to surveillance, which included domiciliary visits. Although the Supreme Court denied his petition but recognized right to privacy as an implicit right under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. However, the court made it very clear that this was not an absolute right and reasonable restrictions could be imposed on the basis of public interest. Finally, in 2017, in the case of Justice K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India, a 9-judge bench unanimously held that right to privacy was guaranteed to each and every individual under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. So ever since 2017, right to privacy is considered as a fundamental right under Article 21, that is under Part 3 of the Indian Constitution. Article 21 states that no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to the procedure established by law. Hence, right to privacy is part of right to protection of life and personal liberty. So let us now discuss about a legislation which emerged as a recognition to right to privacy. In 2017, The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology set up a committee to study issues relating to data protection. The committee was chaired by the retired Supreme Court Judge Justice P. N. Srikrishna. It submitted the draft in 2018 named the Personal Data Protection Bill. After further deliberations, the bill was approved by the Cabinet Ministry and was tabled in the Lok Sabha in December 2019. The main provisions of the bill was to regulate, process, collect, and store personal data relating to individuals. The main relevance of the bill was that privacy of personal data should be considered as an essential aspect of right to privacy. So, the personal data of the people could be processed by both the government as well as the companies incorporated in India, as per the provisions of the bill. Here are two terminologies which will be helpful in interpreting the bill. First is the data principle. It refers to the individual whose personal data is being processed, that is the common public. Second is the data fiduciary. It is the entity or individual who decides the means and purposes of data processing, that is the government or companies incorporated in India. However, due to certain criticism, the bill is still under review and it is being analyzed by the Joint Parliamentary Committee. So, in order to get a better understanding, let us now discuss some of the current legal issues relating to right to privacy. So, the first legal issue which we are going to discuss is the linking of Aadhaar card. This is the same issue which led to the development of right to privacy as a fundamental right. In October 2012, a writ petition was filed by Justice K.S. Puttaswamy in the Supreme Court when he was left with no other option after the Income Tax Department made Aadhaar mandatory for filing income tax. He challenged the constitutional validity of Aadhaar and contended that it lacked legislative backing and intruded the right to privacy, as Aadhaar was made mandatory for availing all rights and public services. Therefore, the government introduced the Aadhaar Act, and the Supreme Court, in its verdict in 2017, recognized right to privacy as a fundamental right and subsequently struck down a section and subsection of Aadhaar Act to prevent the government from sharing data to the private entities. So the next issue which we are going to discuss is an international one. This was popularly called the Facebook Cambridge Analytica data scandal. So what happened was that a data scientist from Cambridge University was hired to form an app called This Is Your Digital Life. In the process, he collected data of some 50 million people by calling it a survey for an academic purpose. However, it was revealed that he was working for a US senator to target political thoughts of people and in fact move them in a particular direction. So the news went viral as it posed a serious threat to right to privacy. Further, it was alleged that Facebook supplied user data to the third parties for money, so it caused further chaos, and thus Facebook was boycotted for a long time in some of the countries. However, it was able to regain its importance in the social world. So, the next legal issue which we are going to discuss is a recent one and took place 2 months back in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Several hoardings were placed in the city of Lucknow by the UP police, which contained names, photographs, and residential addresses of somewhat 50 anti CAA protesters. A division bench comprising of the Chief Justice of Allahabad High Court, Govind Mathur, and Justice Ramesh Sinha took suo motu cognizance of the issue. They ordered to remove the hoardings as the act was highly undemocratic. They further stated that it violated Article 21 of the Constitution as it intruded the right to privacy of the CAA protesters. So, the last issue which we are going to discuss is related to Zoom. Zoom is an online platform which enables video conferencing with a large number of people. In recent times, the platform has proved to be of much relevance due to the lockdown, and in fact, certain ministers tweeted about Zoom how it came to be useful for government purposes. However, an advisory was issued by the Ministry of Home Affairs stating that the platform was not safe. The major issues regarding the platform were mainly two. Firstly, there was Zoom bombing, that is, the participants would intrude and send inappropriate messages and images, which would create chaos on the platform. And secondly, there was no end to end encryption. That is, the information was not between the end users. This was wrongly claimed by the company, so it posed a serious threat to some of the government offices as well as private sector. So, and a plea was filed in the Supreme Court stating that the Zoom platform should be banned for government as well as official purposes as it posed a serious threat to right to privacy. So, to sum up, we first saw how the right to privacy originated in the United States. Then we saw the evolution of the right in India from the case of MP Sharma versus Satish Chandra to the case of Justice K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India. Then we saw how right to privacy turned out to be a fundamental right under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. And lastly, we discussed about various socio-legal issues which involved right to privacy. Thank you for watching this video. I hope I was able to give you an insight about the right to privacy. For any doubts or queries, put it in the comment section below. Thank you so much.